Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of, something WoW. This is Darkshore Mythic. We're back here again because I've been getting a few requests ever since Darkshore Mythic came out. Add a few quests, Raziya. Add a new gear set, Raziya. Give us a final boss, Raziya. So, I'm delivering, and you can consider this something of an early Christmas present, or, Solstice, or Yuletide, or Hanukkah, or whatever else you happen to celebrate. For the moment, we're just going to amass our weaponry. We're going to choose our weapons before the fight. And what fight am I talking about? Well, you've already seen the prior 9 bosses, and what I've decided to add as the final boss is a marathon boss. A marathon boss called the Shade of Emrus. And what is a marathon boss? What am I talking about? Well, it's every single boss fight combined into one. So it's every boss one after another, with still in Shadowclaw, Carnivous, Flagglemurk, Moongazer, Sinslayer, Radison, Clutchmother, Parasite, and then Vespira. And yes, Clutchmother counts as 2 just because of the nature of the fight. So, first things first, I did add a little path to Sorouvia's island, because she is the one who takes all your quests. Whenever you kill a boss, you'll be able to pick a quest item up off their body, and that'll give you some cool text about how badass you are. And then you take that to Sorouvia, and she'll tell you you did a good job. In her own way of saying it. Right now, we gotta follow the anomalous path over the water. This bizarre wooden path, which should not be here, but is. And if you think that's immersion breaking, then you haven't been around Sorouvia long enough. Anyway, so this new quest simply informs us of the path that leads from the target dummies on the shore directly to Sorouvia's island. That's all it does, but Sorouvia does have a little bit more for us in the form of a secret cache of goods. I will not reveal the cache's location, but if you happen to get here yourself, then Sorouvia will inform you about it at level 20. As for the new boss fight itself, well, I won't really have too much time to explain the mechanics during the fight, because it's one thing after another. But I will put a brief summary of each phase at the beginning of each phase. You'll have to pause to read it. Other than that, I'll do my best to commentate on my own actions throughout the fight, and we'll see what we can do to complete it. It's a pretty long fight. Once you're big and strong, you're level 20, come by Sorouvia's island again, and she will inform you of the cache's location. And the boss. Do you think yourself capable of greatness, Faye? You have grown strong, but there are forces far greater in this world. You have demonstrated your ability to survive against some such forces. However, there was one who gave even me pause. The armor you wear belonged to her sycophants. I speak of Emrus, Faye. She was a tenacious foe, and even now her vengeful revenant and its dark company lurk in northern Darkshore, further even than the ruins of Mythistra. They plot the only thing that sinister dragoness desires, total chaos and destruction. Speak to me again if you believe you can best her. Learn the location of Sorouvia's secret cache. Now, the cache in question contains, quite simply, a bunch of stat buffs and a couple of Tears Nievi, which are Healthstone-like heals. But the stat buffs are really all you need, because each mimicry in this encounter is actually less difficult than its individual counterpart, because you need to do each one after another, so the cooldowns would never work. The player cannot be expected to pop a potion or something on each phase. So as long as your execution is good, then you'll survive. Right now they're just daring us to attack, so we'll take the opportunity to buff ourselves and our pet up. And the boss herself says you may have the first move, Faye. As it will be your last, I'll allow you that much. She may say that now, but she'll be wishing she hadn't very soon. just as soon as we're done buffing up with our Strider Stew. So that sweet, sweet stamina buff. Since they're all stacked up, we've got to open into some AoE. We got a trap down. We have one of those targets marked, the ranged mob. And we're going to open into some dynamite auto multi. We'll focus down the ranged mob first, while keeping the melee target away from us. The melee target just tripped the immolation trap, so we'll add a serpent sting to that, while returning our attention to the burning cultist. They're in range for the multi-sync, so we use multi-shot to finish that target off. The hulking cultist is at 40% and chasing us, but he's just about to go down. With a nice Raptor Strike crit, but we are knocked down first. Now we're on the boss, who no doubt is stunned that we took out both of her allies so quickly, but she is not going to go down so easily, not by a long shot. I've got my Hunter's Mark up in her, I've got Aspect of the Hook, and our goal right now is to do as much damage as possible, because she is spamming Drain Life, and she's just going to last longer and longer the longer we let her do so. I am out of mana, but we have caused enough damage to finish off this phase right about now. Now there are a whole bunch of savage cultists we gotta deal with. My dynamite is off cooldown, so I'm gonna open on these three much like I did at the beginning of the fight. That one is already very low, but they're all gaining on me, and I do not want to pop my impulsors yet. So we're gonna try and keep away from them, try not to get stuck in a pillar like I do here. I do get bled, but that should not be enough to kill me as long as I keep away from the Shade of Emrus. My pet can take aggro for a moment, but we do need to pull aggro right here, because she does deal heavy melee damage. Could surely kill Sparkle within at most 6 seconds. And we cannot lose our pet at any point during this fight. She does get faster and faster every second she's away from us, but she has no way to slow us down, so as long as we keep away, we're fine. This phase is already over. This phase is kind of the total opposite. She will be able to slow us here, and she will get spam healed by the Sleeper's Breath. We're going to have Sparkle take aggro for just a second here, just to eat the first Storm Strike, because that will chunk the heck out of us. In the meantime, she will Flame Shock if we're in melee for more damage, and that cancels out Frost Shock, which she uses at range, so we got to dash into melee when we get Frost Shock. But I really don't want to stay in melee for too long, or go in much at all, because that Storm Strike Wrath combo hurts like heck. Luckily, we are killing her quite fast, especially thanks to our Savage Strikes, Raptor Strike crits. So we are already on phase 4, which is the Warrior phase. She just charged us, but we're alright. We've got another Raptor Strike crit off, and now we're already into the Berserker part of this phase, which is very, very nasty melee damage. Gotta pop deterrents, cannot fall below 20% or we will get one shot by the Execute. We're very close to one shot. Now that she is in defensive though, she can't charge or intercept anymore, so we need to keep our distance, or outlast her in a battle of attrition, which is not very likely. Not at this juncture anyway. So we got the Raptor Strike off. Let's keep away. Let's break her Piercing Howl with our COE Impulsors, and put Aspect of the Hawk back up so we can finish off this phase. And here comes Myleath. We're just about halfway done with this encounter as soon as this phase is over. Penumbra is on our pet, but that's a good thing. We want her pet on our pet on Myleath, and Myleath on us. Right now she's running away to get at range, and that's great. Sparkle has enough threat on Penumbra for him to absorb some multi-shots, which is great because we want to fire the multi-shot off on Myleath for as much damage as possible. Little Savage Strikes crit to help right there, and this phase is over already. Very quick, very clean. Emrus has taken the back line, and she's going to start healing her friends here. We got to use Dead Zone shots and Raptor Strikes to get this one on us dead. Penumbra was up there for a second, so he did absorb one of the shots, but now there are only 3 targets, and we can go ahead and bridge the gap without harm. I need to make sure that that one stays on Sparkle, and in the meantime I need Sparkle to keep DPSing the one on me. As long as he has threat on that one, we're fine. We'll keep firing Dead Zone shots out, and our Savage Strikes crits and lucky multi-shot crits are really helping us chunk this guy down. He did pop Shield Wall, but it's almost over already. Almost over. We cannot get away from him, but we don't need to. Another Raptor Strike crit almost finishes him off, and here we go. On to phase 7, the Radison phase. We gotta make sure that Sparkle does not die in this one. She does put out quite a lot of AoE damage here, so we just gotta be attentive to his HP and make sure that he does not fly headfirst into a flame break like that. Or, you know, linger in the flame strikes for too long. If he gets too low, I'll make sure to send him away. I just got clipped by a flame strike, but as long as we keep stutter stepping, we will stay ahead of them. She's down to 20%, and as soon as she hits 15%, she's going to start running at us. Flame break will hurt quite a lot, but we just got a wing clip off, and that'll help us a lot. Impulsors are down, but the wing clip is keeping her away from us for the moment. She's going to catch up, but we have plenty of HP. We have more than enough to survive this phase. Phase 8, Galora and 2 Tainted Cultists. This is the Clutchmother phase. Like typical warriors, she is hard to get away from, but easy to keep away from. So, as long as we use it, we have our impulsors up, so we can totally break it. I use some more rough dynamite, and I'll go into melee just to wing clip her before breaking everything she's got with my impulsors. Now she's down at 57%, and we can go into melee safely now. At this point, it should be good to go. She does pop a potion, but that will not be enough to stop us from defeating her in this phase. And as a reward, she gives us the rest of her life force so that we can stand a chance against the Shade of Emrus in this phase. With her massively increased defenses, she is very hard to kill, especially as she spams Drain Life on us. Plus, when that Curse of Idiocy on the sidebar there reaches 15 stacks, she will drop an impending doom on us, which will one-shot us after 10 seconds. So we have a total of 52 seconds to complete this phase with as best static DPS as possible. So we're going to make sure we keep Aspect of the Hulk up, Hunter's Mark, Serpent Sting, Arcane Shot, and Multi-Shot on cooldown, because we do not have Aim Shot, we are Spec Survival. She's down at 30%, but Curse of Idiocy is up at 12 stacks, so we are approaching the end right here. 13 stacks, 20% and 10%. She is going down quickly enough. We get dangerously close to death, but we end up finishing this phase on time. Now we're on to the final phase, the Vespira phase, the test of timing. This is probably the longest phase, and also one of the hardest. We gotta keep them together as much as we can for the multi-shot cleave, because that freezing cultist is highly resistant to magic. Also, they need to die within 8 seconds of each other, or we are instantly one-shot. The Shade of Emrus is gonna keep spamming frostbolts at us, and they're gonna make it hard for us by running around and blinking in like that. We were just the victim of the blink flash freeze combo, but we can turn around and dish out a nice Raptor Strike crit in return, thanks to Savage Strikes. The Shade of Emrus is losing HP very quickly, but we gotta push that freezing cultist below 67% before that Nova, which we are able to break now because it was not turned into a stun by that freezing cultist. They can consume the Nova, turn it from a root into a stun. Now we can make some distance and get the Shade of Emrus below 10%, which does force the Ice Block. However, the freezing cultist is still up, so that did cut into our time to bandage a little bit because it did not disappear again as soon as I would have wanted it to. That's fine. The Shade of Emrus will now chase us. She's got a little bit more HP left, and we are dead zoned at the moment on her. The Frost Nova is almost up. We're going to turn our attention to the freezing cultist, which is still a little bit high in HP, and we'll try to get them together for one last multi-shot. We gotta finish this fight. Right about here is the opportunity we were looking for to get that multi-shot off, but we were hit with an Ice Bolt. The freezing cultist is about ready to channel the death spell, but this is over. Frost Nova breaks, we run in, get the Raptor Strike off to finish this phase. Alas, we are struck by a sense of hopelessness, as well as a permanent stun. Could it be that it was all for naught? Yeah, we are so screwed. It matters not. Fool, you had no hope to begin with. I will deliver you to oblivion at last. Prepare yourself. But hello there, Echo of Sorouvia, who shows up just in the nick of time. Where the heck were you earlier, mate? I've been dying here. You? Impossible. You are still here. And you are only a fraction of what you once were. Hero, I will lend you my power. Let us finish this together. We're freed of the permanent stun. The Shade of Emrus insists that she cannot truly be destroyed. Well, we'll see about that. Indeed, the Echo of Sorouvia says I will be the judge of that, as shall I. Full damage ahead. Pump it out. Get her down. The two of them are locked in epic combat. Emrus is not even paying any attention to me anymore. She's making her last stand, but she stands no chance with the three of us here. We're gonna drive these glow sticks right through her heart. Slowly but surely, she is going down. Her last stand is just about over. Excellent fighting, champion. Now, retrieve the spectral skull of this monster and meet me on my island where I may gift you a fitting reward. Well then, let's go right ahead. Sweet. And why the heck weren't you around earlier? Oh. Your sense of humor is intolerable, Faye. This is not the time. See you soon. Fine, I wasn't joking. I'm really ticked that you were not around to help me with the rest of the fight. But I guess it doesn't matter now. Let's read this. Your hands tremble as they hold the spectral skull. For something ghostly, it's so heavy, although it could be exhaustion catching up to you now that the adrenaline rush is leaving you. It's undeniable now just how fearsome you are. The mythical foe you bested wielded power beyond your imagination. Yet here you stand, the survivor. The thought that it was merely a shade leaves you with the feeling that despite your victory, there is more to learn. The Echo of Sorouvia awaits you on her island. Once you claim your prizes, you may retire for now and get some much needed rest. Very flattering words, but of course these are my words to you, should you happen to pick up this project and best the final boss. For those of you who have been asking for a final boss, and indeed a marathon boss, well, here you go. Good luck, happy hunting, and Merry Christmas. This is my gift to you. It's not perfect by any means, but I did try to make sure that it was fair, balanced, but nonetheless challenging. And for those of you who have been asking for a new set of gear, well, here you go. Here's your swagger that you pick up after you best the final boss. Go ahead, pick it up, show it off to your friends, show off to your friends that you are a certified badass. Check out this sick armor. It is there to be where you are needed, to stand against impossible odds, to persist even out of your element, to unleash overwhelming power, to carry on the fight forevermore, to hold your chest high and proudly, to charge fearlessly into the battle, and to see truthfully all things concealed. And of course the offsets are pretty cool too. They have their own various perks. But anyway, before we go for tonight, I just want to have another look at phases 5 and 6, because I did make them look a little bit too easy, and I do want to show you guys a little bit more of Myleath and the enduring cultists. So here goes the boss, doing the Aura of Fear thing and summoning the Huntress. And as you can see, Penumbra was on us for a moment, and Myleath is shooting away. But only that moment of having Penumbra on us was more than enough to deal some pretty nasty damage to us. We're already down below 50% HP, but since we do have Penumbra on our pet, and our pet on Myleath, our combined damage will outdo hers. And now we're on to phase 6, which, well, we got both of the enduring cultists on us. We gotta get one of them on our pet. So I'm gonna use the nameplates here, select that one with high HP, and then growl on it strategically before getting our pet on this one here. Our pet does not have too much aggro, not too much. So we do take aggro again. But since this one is shield walled, I have nothing else to do but get that one back on my pet and try to get Emrus back into position where I can chain multi-shot into the melee once again and we can finish off this phase. So, that about wraps it up for today, folks. Although this is a custom boss, I don't give my bosses weird weaknesses that aren't applicable to the main game. You may have been able to silence Simone with your Viper Sting, but here you stutter step around those flame strikes much like you stutter step to keep ahead of someone in typical PvP in the official game. Or, you know, on the Hagen Dance. My scripting may not be perfect, but the idea is to create mechanics that test Hunter's skills. So I hope this fight is adequate for that purpose. Whether you intend to enjoy this fight yourself, or simply wanted to behold the spectacle, then I hope you found this episode quite fun. If you did, I'd appreciate you showing me by dropping a like down below. Share this video too, cause the more the merrier. If you haven't already, it would help me out immensely if you were to subscribe and click that bell icon so you never miss another upload. I love making content for you guys in many respects, so I hope you love seeing or playing it just as much. Check the description for a link to the server data, or for the skip list, or for a link to the Ravager Discord server, where I can help you personally if you're having trouble getting it set up or something, unless you'd rather inquire in a comment. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!